Hello everyone and good morning. Happy day 5 of this wonderful detox, and we're here to answer some more questions. Giles has got his sheet of questions for me to answer that have come in from you guys on what is going on with you during this detox, so hopefully this will help you all.
Okay, first one is, I want to finish the 7-day cleanse. Do you have any tips or advice to help me get through it?
Yeah, so really, and I did a video about this in the beginning, it comes down to what is your intention. So when you can focus on your intention, you can have that intention really strong in your being of why you're doing it. It can motivate you and push you through. Now, it does take willpower to stick to it. I'm not going to lie. It can be challenging at times. It's not always going to be plain sailing and amazing, but what's going to happen is through the process of the detox, you are getting rid of toxins, you are shedding a layer of emotions, you're shedding a layer of weight potentially, you're shedding a layer of toxins, you're sinking deeper into yourself. And that's not always an easy process. And one of the things that so often comes up is when these emotions come up, when anger or upset comes up, quite often what we do is we reach for food, usually chocolate or cakes, to push down those emotions so that it dulls them a bit, or alcohol is another one, to dull it so we can cope with it and deal with it. And this happens so often, it's emotional eating. And when you do a detox, you don't have that emotional eating to fall back on. So you're really going within and you're having to feel what's coming up. And this is such an important thing, because the more we can feel, the more we can release, the more we can move on to the next level, the more we can clear our being of stuff that is holding us back in life. So I know a few times I've gone, oh, chocolate, oh God, I need something, and I've really wanted that. And I totally hear where you're at with it, because I've been there. And I'm going through it. And this morning I woke up and I felt great, and I drank my juice and I was like, yes, I feel vibing. And I know I'm not always going to feel vibing, but it's those moments of feeling really good where you're getting the indication, you're getting the example of how you can feel. And I think that's one of the things that is so important, is tuning into that feeling of how you can feel and why you're doing it, as I said. So intention. And for me, when I get those sweet cravings, having a cup of my CBD hot chocolate has been really helpful, because it's got the cacao in it, it's got medicinal mushrooms, it's got the CBD. So it's supportive and it's helping my body. Also having putting frozen bananas into a smoothie, so you've got that cold ice creamy like smoothie. That's a really great thing as well, to get that sweet thing. If you're on a day where you're eating and you're not just doing the juices and smoothies, you could have, if you're really struggling, you could have a date or a couple of dates, maybe with some hemp seeds inside them, or hemp seeds alongside, to help give you that kind of sugar and that feeling of being satisfied. But ultimately, if you can sit with it and you can breathe into it and you can go, why am I doing this? Why do I want to move through this? And know that things are coming up to be cleared. So it's a positive process that you're going through, even though it may not feel positive in that moment. You breathe through it. The other thing is, if I'm struggling a bit, getting my super green mix and my vitamin C mix and my mushroom mix and adding those in. So I added those to my juice this morning, so that I had that extra oomph of greens and nutrition on top of what I was already having, to help support me through the process.
Brilliant. Okay,
so hopefully that's been helpful.
I think that's answered that one. Okay. Next question. Things started well for me. I've developed a terrible cold. I've broken out in spots, and the piece of chocolate cake in the fridge is getting ever more tempting. Help. Yeah,
so that is
a cold. Someone's had come out in a bad
So I came out in a cold 2 days ago. It's feeling much better now. It's almost gone. A cold is a sign of detoxing. That's what your body is naturally doing. It's expelling toxins. And so keep going. Know that it's a positive thing. And one of the things that's important, I think, that comes up with this is it's your body also telling you to slow down. So the first few days of the detox, I'm like charging through. I'm still working. I'm doing everything. I'm like, yes. I had loads of energy. I was doing loads. And then the cold came, and what it did for me was it said, slow down. You can't go so fast. And that is such an important lesson to learn, that we have to slow down. So one of the things when you're doing a cleanse and a detox is to listen to your body and ask your body what it needs. And if it says I need rest, you may not be able to rest in that moment, but think, okay, how can I rest? Where can I get that space of rest? Can I go to bed a little bit earlier? You know, can I lay out in the sun for 20 minutes and just breathe in the rays of the sun? But listen and know that a cold is a good thing. It's the body shedding, and it could be the body shedding toxins from when you were a child. You know, the colds are actually the body's way of expelling. It's a really amazing thing that we can do, that we can get rid of these layers and layers of toxins. And as I talked about in the earlier bit, you know, it's also the emotions coming up, and that's why that piece of chocolate cake in the fridge looks ever more tempting, because it's those emotions coming up, as we talked about in the last questions, that are pulling you to that. It's also force of habit. You know, we are very habitual creatures who very easily go for what we're used to, and it's so easy, isn't it, just to reach for something and eat it. I know I nearly did that yesterday on a few occasions. I just went to grab food because the kids were eating something, or I was, you know, dishing up the children's food, and I was like, oh, does it taste all right? And I went and I was like, no, don't do that. And I smelt it and that was fine. But what's very interesting, and I know this from a lot of experience, is the voice within our head. I remember the first cleanse I ever did. It was a 3-day juice cleanse, and I went straight into just having juice. It was only apple and carrot juice.
So when was this?
So this was 15
years ago. So you just think, I'm going to have 3 days just on juice.
Yeah.
Having a lot of juices.
Exactly. And I had
homemade juices?
Yeah, homemade juices, and it was only a certain amount that you could have. So it was quite a full-on intense cleanse for the first time I'd ever done one. And there was no gentle lead into it. It was just boom. And I remember my littlest was nearly 1, and I had to make him food. And I remember making him food, and this voice in my head saying, oh, go on, just try some. You need to check it's all right for him. And I was like, no, it's all right, because I'm sure it will taste fine. And then this voice came back and said, but no one's watching. It's fine to just have a piece.
No.
And it was so interesting.
What was it, chocolate cake?
No, it was just food. I was making him dinner. And it was so interesting that this voice had come up inside me, and I said to myself, but I want to do this. And the voice said, yeah, but it doesn't matter. No one will know if you cheat.
The Lord of the Rings with Gollum and Schmeagol?
It was a moment like that.
We must take the precious. Oh, no.
Yeah. It was a moment like that between myself
and
I said to myself, but I'm doing this for a reason, and that's where I went back to my intention. But it was that part of me that wanted to trip me up and wanted me to fail at what I was doing. But I was clear on what I was doing and why I was doing it, and I stood up to myself and I said, no, I'm going to do this. I don't need to taste it. It will be fine. I'm sure that I'll know soon enough if he doesn't like it.
So what you're saying is that come back to that intention, the person that's asked that question.
Totally.
And the cold is part of it. We
Yeah.
could see any illness as part of this, really. So making sure you're on top of that is
exactly. And
an
obviously,
important thing.
if you get a cold, up your vitamin C,
Right.
up your garlic. You know, they take things to support the body detoxifying, so it detoxes quicker, so you get through it quicker. So I've been taking more vitamin C, I've been taking more garlic, I've been taking my On Guard, I've been having my iodine. Those are things that I've been taking to support my body through this shifting process. Obviously, if you have any severe reactions that come up or severe ailments, then please do see a healthcare practitioner, because don't just say, oh, it's the detox. It's really important to contact someone if it's more than just a cold, if something's actually going on.
Yeah, okay. So that actually, what you're just talking about, some of the supplements, that links into the next question.
Okay.
Very well. And Juliet's been running this 7-day program. Obviously, those of you that are connecting via the Facebook, and there's things going out on YouTube and newsletters and different things like that as well. But one of the reasons that you're doing this is obviously to spread this information to help people.
Yeah.
Someone has asked, and this is actually tying into what's going out on the next week program that Juliet's running, which is all going to be about the best supplements to support you health. They've said, what are the best supplements to take during and after a cleanse? So obviously, starting on Monday, I think you're going to be running a 7-day program about the best supplements from you. So, but just briefly maybe here.
Yes, so when I'm doing a cleanse, for me, there are some key things I take. Now, depending on what level of a cleanse you want to do, depends on what you want to take. Because you could do a really full-on bad boy one and be taking your MSM and your Shilajit and all of these kind of things. And that's a more intense one. And what I was thinking is we might do, in a little bit, maybe around Christmas time, or just before Christmas, we might do a more intense 7-day one.
What,
where
Christmas?
Just before Christmas. Around the time of the solstice, we might get into doing a more intense one. I'll have a think about timing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously, people. I think with the last Q&A you did, you were talking about the great importance if people have any health issues going into taking certain natural medicines. You know, it might interfere with certain medications. So I think you've always got to do that under supervision, don't you, really? But just as a general thing.
So as a general thing,
that people...
I would say super green. So I've got a lovely super green mix I made, which I've recently created a new formula to, which is really great. So it's come down in price, which is even better. That's on my website. It's now £28 instead of £35. So it's quite a big drop in price.
So you're going to be getting into this...
So super greens, next week I'm going to be talking about all the different supplements.
But you'd say to try and have some sort of
super green powder
smoothie,
to
you
up
could put
the
in
nutrients.
maybe
Water.
blend it into your juice.
Just have it in water. Vitamin C is really, really key. Again, I've got a lovely vitamin C mix which I add to things. It's a powder, it's a whole food one. Garlic is really, really great for detoxifying.
Now, you said earlier, I've been upping my garlic. So can you just, are you eating raw garlic? I mean, what are you doing there?
I put some garlic in a couple of the juices I've done. I don't like too much raw garlic because for me it's quite harsh on my stomach. Everyone's different about how much raw garlic they can take. For me, I can only have a little bit. So I have put a bit into some of the raw food and the juices I've done, but only a little bit. And I take, well, there are 2 garlic supplements I've got, or 3. There's a spray, an allicin spray. These are on my website if you're interested. And also allicin pills. Allicin is the active component, one of the active components in garlic. And also aged garlic extract. Those are the garlic pills I take. They're all easy on the digestive system, which is why I have them. But garlic has 39 different antibiotic strains. So what it's doing is it's helping to flush out bacteria, viruses, toxins. It's just helping your body. It's helping your circulation. So it's helping keep everything moving and flowing out of your system. The greens are so important, like the super greens, because what they do is they bind things like chlorella and blue-green algae. They bind to toxins and flush them out on a deeper level, heavy metals. Because when you're starting to detox, you're getting into this cellular memory and you're going through these layers in your body where you could have stored heavy metals from vaccines or from whatever it is. So this stuff can come out, and we want to flush it as quickly and easily as possible. So things like the chlorella and the blue-green algae bind to it and get it out of your system quickly. So that's a really good thing. That's why I advocate those super greens so much, to flush out on that higher level. I mean,
just to add in there about that, I now have no amalgam fillings in my mouth. I mean, you didn't because of your mum's health condition. They'd learnt the link way back about between mercury and
autoimmune conditions,
autoimmune neurological illness. But I remember at the time of getting the fillings out, of being told by someone, if you do that, make sure that you're taking the chlorella. It's a green, it's like a super green, because it will help to bind and they said before you have it. So Juliet, there's probably people listening out here and people following your program who would like to have more in-depth one-to-one work with you, because obviously you can give general advice, but we're all different, we're all unique. How could someone work with you on a one-to-one basis if they want to take things further, they want to take their health further, if they maybe want to do an
in-depth deep cleanse?
It might be to look at releasing heavy metal toxicity, or a parasite cleanse, or rebalance the gut. How could someone work with you on a one-to-one basis?
Well, I do one-to-one consultations, and I also run one-to-one mentorship program. So over 12 weeks, every week we meet, and I take you through a really in-depth program where we detoxify on many levels.
That's me on
via Zoom or internet. And I also do, obviously it's not one-to-one, but I do group mentorship program. The next one starts in January. That you have a one-to-one consultation with me, and then it's a group session. So again, we can get into depth of the specifics of each individual and what they need, because this is brilliant because it's a general thing, and that's great because we can all do it to the level we can do it. But when you have a one-to-one, I do muscle testing, and we really get into the specifics of what your body needs to really tune you up. Because that's what it's about, isn't it? It's really about tuning us back into our inner wisdom, connecting us back into the ultimate being that we're meant to be in optimum health and thriving with the most energy we can have in this moment, and releasing things that are no longer serving us.
Yeah. Well, that's a really beautiful thing, and I know as well that it's the benefit people get to their body, but also looking at how we can help our mental health.
Totally.
As you've said about this cleanse, how it's not just we're releasing things physically, it's emotionally, it's mentally, and you know, Juliet has had her moments more than usual.
I've got a little bit ratty,
and you know, so I think that's one of the things I know that you work with people with is meditation. So could you just finish, really? This is my question, is how can we meditate? Maybe you could do a little meditation for us, but how can we meditate to help cleansing and detoxing? Not just not just detox the body, but detox the mind, and you know, what can we do?
Well, there are lots of different things we can do, and the first is starting with the breath. The breath is such an important thing, and through our breath, when we breathe properly and deeply, we eliminate up to 70% of the toxins in our body. So when you're detoxifying, one of the key things to sit and do is to just breathe. Now, when I say just breathe, I don't mean just sit there and go, you know, breathe in that way. I mean actually consciously breathe, connecting deep down into your belly. And breathing in this very slow, connected way. And
if you can be outside for this as well, I think, or just open a window. If you're inside, just get that fresh air.
And as I said in the last one, for me, you know, the earth connection is so important. So if you can't be outside, that's fine. Visualize that you're sat on the earth. So we'll do a little grounding meditation, but we'll start with some breathing. So I want you to start by putting your hands on your belly. And when you breathe in, what I want you to try and do is imagine there's a balloon in your belly, and as you breathe in, your belly expands, and as you breathe out, your belly contracts, trying to keep your chest still and your shoulders still. So breathing out from the deepest point you can, almost imagining that you're breathing from your pelvic floor. So as you breathe in, imagine that you're pulling that energy up from the earth. Breathing in, belly expanding, and breathing out, releasing any tension back into the earth. Breathing in, pulling up that energy from the earth. Breathing out, releasing into the earth. And I want you to carry on for another 2 breaths, just breathing deeply in your own time. Slow, even, deep breaths. And as you breathe, just imagine breathing that life force fully into your being. And as you breathe out, releasing anything that no longer serves you. And as you breathe, just notice how your body feels. Take a moment to actually connect with your being. Connect with your physical, mental, and emotional beings, and spiritual. And asking all of these different parts of your being what they need from you. Asking your physical being what it needs. Asking your mental body what it needs. Asking your emotional body what it needs. And your spiritual. And then I want you to just take a moment to imagine that you're sat on the ground by a beautiful tree. And you lean back into the tree and you feel yourself sinking, releasing into the tree, like the tree is absorbing you, holding you. And as you sink into the tree, so you feel yourself connecting with the earth. And you feel yourself recharging, like a battery being plugged in. You feel all of your being stilling. As you sink into the tree, as you sit on the earth, you feel held and supported. And you remember that you are one with nature. You are one with this earth. The earth is here to support you. And take a moment to ask the earth to give you a gift. A gift to help you on your detox, to help you on your journey of cleansing. And then giving thanks to the earth, bringing your awareness back to your body. And breathing in the green of the trees, the green of the leaves, the green of the grass. Allowing that green energy to move through your cells, healing and cleansing. And then bringing your awareness back to your fingers and your toes. Giving them a little wiggle and maybe a big stretch over your head. And then when you're ready, giving thanks to yourself for showing up and opening your eyes.
Oh, wonderful, Juliet.
If you want to make a note of anything that came up, one of the things that I think is so important is asking our body what it needs on all levels. And then listening, writing those things down and seeing how you could take action on those.
Yep.
Because that action is so important. It shows that you trust and honour your being. For me, 3 of the layers were the same response. And it was to breathe. And actually to spend more time breathing. Because we forget. And it doesn't have to be a long time. But that's what my physical, mental and emotional layers all wanted. They wanted to breathe.
We all want to breathe. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Those of you who haven't got it, Juliet's excellent Divine Detox ebook is available from our website. It's only a £5. Loads of information in it. I think we're going to do one more question and answer, which is going to relate to moving on from the cleanse. Those of you that have done the 7, so Sunday morning, look out for that. And if you've got any questions, please do send them in. You can always private message Juliet. We're not reading out any names here, so if you want an opportunity to have your questions answered, it's an opportunity for it. And next week, exciting, looking at your top supplements, going into a little bit in depth about the supplements that Juliet's created herself, why she's done it, and other ones that she recommends for optimum health. That's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
Lots of different things going on. with the Transformative Health. So that's really exciting.
Oh, my new radio show,
Oh,
which is really
here we
exciting,
go.
this Sunday on Kinda Sounds Radio.
Kinda
The
Sounds.
first one is at 3 o'clock, where Giles interviews me.
There we go.
That's on his show, Awakening. And then the next one is after that. I believe it's at 3:30, which is my one. So
Okay,
it's called
double
Transformative
dose.
Health. So an
So
hour
check
of
the
me, in
links.
essence.
Check the links. You've got
I'll put the link up in the
yeah.
group.
Just
later
have a
on
look
today.
at it. Kind of sounds.
Giles wearing the t-shirt.
Kinda Sounds.
Kinda Sounds. Tuning in for change. So take care and see you soon.